Hello ma'am, my name is Ajay Jadhav and today's date is 7th January and today I will choose topic the intro of Spring Boot. Spring Boot widely used of creating of a scalable application of a web applications. Provide MVC which is a model that widely used of a module which is the use of a create of scalable with web applications. The disadvantages of a Spring is a project of a configure and it's rarely has to time complexity and can be hit of a for the new developer. Making of applications of a pro that will be a detection of a ready to take a time of a Spring solutions. The feature of a Spring Boot is built on a top to the Spring framework is provide the feature of a Spring and Spring MVC. It easier to use to Spring. It's allow avoid of a heavy configurations of a XML which is present in the Spring. Unlike we can Spring Boot MVC project. Spring Boot is everything about auto configure. We just need to the configure has to utilize to particular that functionality for the given our example. We have the @ table of annotation above module to entity of classes and is @ of a column in annotation has to map our table as a column in our database. Is provide of a maintenance which is created of a REST of endpoint of a creations of a REST APIs. Where every easy to Spring Boot justice of annotation @ REST controller. The deployment of a easy to jar and deployment of a Tomcat server over jar and over file can as a directly of a deployment that Tomcat server to provide our functionality convert into the our project. It's also of a instance of a Tomcat as to run cloud as well as into the microservices base. The architecture of a microservices has name of the suggest into the given name, and our services focus into the single type of features that exposing of that API. We can consider the example of a hospital management system. In hospital management system, in case of that will be that system this has to single code that containing the feature of which is every touch of maintaining the that scalable to microservices based into the features to divide into the smaller that subsystem into the services to patient of a registration services and handle to the database management system. That services to the provided into the handle binding to microservices of a base of a system to migrate of only we can services that provide which is also of a debugging of a deployment and every has to the services to integrity to and different technologies. That is a suit of them layer of a Spring Boot. This is a fourth layer of a Spring Boot. First is a presentation layer. Presentation layer of a name suggest into the context is a view into the front end. Data access layer. That is a CRUD operation we can perform. In operation is a database income into the categories of service layer. This service layer consists of database related queries in our provide of a database access layer. That integration layer to consider of different web services that available into the internet use. that will be provided into the our internet use. Thank you, ma'am.